All right, you guys, what's going on? This your boy Town B has had some very sad news. Unfortunately, I just was made aware of the passing of boxing legend McCallum. Mike McCallum was a Jamaican boxer, pretty much fought at middleweight. I think he started at 154 and finished his campaign at middleweight, but he was a hell of a boxer. If you want to see him in action, go look at his fight with Donald Curry. I'm talking about he slept Donald Curry. Really tough, gritty, hard punching fighter. And, I interviewed him years ago. This is when I first started doing interviews. He used to be at the Mayweather gym and, real nice guy. He was, training people back then. And a lot of fighters, to me, ducked him. The thing is with Mike McCallum, he couldn't get those high profile fights. He ended his career losing back to back fights to, guys that went on to become Hall of Famers in their own right, and Roy Jones Jr. and James Toney. I mean, he lost back to back fights and he called it a career in 97. But boy, he was a hell of a fighter. And go, you could find an interview somewhere, but a lot of fighters ducked him. He tried his hardest, they just wouldn't fight him. He couldn't land a fight with Sugar Ray Leonard, couldn't land a fight with Hearns, couldn't land a fight with Duran. He just couldn't get those type of fights. He couldn't get those high profile fights that would have took him to the next level. But throughout his career, he was a very, very good fighter, you know, and his Jamaican accent slipped along the way. It ain't as towards the latter end of his career, it slipped a little bit, but you still could hear it in him. You still could hear it. But when I met him in person, nice guy, real nice guy. Yeah, he tried to fight those dudes. Sugar Ray Leonard, a lot of people say he notoriously ducked Mike McCallum. He just couldn't get those fight. He tried to he was calling those dudes out when he was an active fighter. He couldn't get those fights. He lost 5 times in his career, but he was never stopped. He was never stopped in any of those 5 losses. So, it's quite a few it's quite a few, highlight reels of him. So I actually got to see him fight, but that Donald Curry fight, boy, he put Donald Curry to sleep, you know. And at the time, Donald Curry was one of them fighters that was floating around the pound for pound list. But Donald Curry, when he started losing, boy, it just started hitting him. Yeah, that James Tony fight was pretty damn good. It could have, it was a controversial fight. It was a controversial fight, you know. But afterwards, that was just like his last fight, and he pretty much hung it up. But yeah, if you want to see some footage of Mike McCallum, just go to YouTube. It's some highlight reels of him, and there's some of his fights. But like I say, I highly suggest that you watch the Donald Curry fight. But once again, he just couldn't secure those high profile fights. He was one of them dudes that kind of got left out of the mix, you know. So there you have it. Just wanted to give a quick rehab, celebrating the career and life and times of Mike McCallum. Anyway, it's your boy Town, and I'm out.